Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, we are continuing the countdown to episode 600 by taking a look at the movie that came in second place in the episode 600 tournament. It is a sci-fi fantasy film from 2004 called Thunderbirds. Now, Thunderbirds is based on a television series that I've only seen a little bit of. Thunderbirds, I think I've only seen about 7 or 8 episodes of it. It was a show made entirely with puppets about the Tracy family who saved people from various accidents, mishaps, disasters, and what have you, using their awesome array of vehicles. They also dealt with terrorists and a bunch of other stuff. It was really a fascinating show, at least from the 6 or 7 episodes I've seen. Now, I have friends who are diehard Thunderbirds fans who've seen every episode of the original series, have seen both movies both movies directly tied to the original series, as well as most other Thunderbirds things. When the subject of this movie comes up, all happiness and joy just drains from them, because this movie apparently is the worst thing to ever have the Thunderbirds name affixed to it. And that very well could be. I even know people who've never seen the original Thunderbirds show speak very ill of this movie. I have no idea if this thing is going to be any good at all. I honestly am hoping for it to be at least a little bit watchable, but considering how much people have dumped on this thing, those hopes are very, very slim. But hey, who knows? This thing could actually be decent. I have no idea. The only way I'm going to find out is if I shut up and I push play. And I'm going to do that right now. And so, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Thunderbirds are go! Okay, I need to ask this. Are we at any point going to get a character who's even marginally likable in this movie? Guys, like I said, I've seen a few episodes of the original Thunderbirds show. The characters there were actually interesting and likable. Every character here is either boring, stupid, or a massive douchebag. It really isn't helping this thing, especially when the sets look kinda sorta cheap and the CG would have been primitive by 1994 standards, much less 2004 when the fucking thing was made. My God, guys, this thing has just started and it already feels like a goddamn chore to watch. I swear to God, guys, I'm really hating this movie. The 3 characters we are forced to follow all suck. Not a single one of them are fucking likable. Our villain, the fucking Hood, should be a likable character. The Hood was amazing in the fucking series. Not only is the Hood poorly written here, but Ben Kingsley isn't even fucking trying. Ben Kingsley as the Hood should be dream casting of the highest magnitude. No, motherfucker isn't trying. He put more effort into his performance in Blood Rain than he is in this. Think about that for a minute. Ben Kingsley's performance in Blood Rain was better than his performance here. That's fucking tragic, dude. God, I really want this thing to be over, but motherfuck, I've got about an hour left. This is gonna suck. You know, guys, just when I thought I'd seen the worst CG this movie could possibly churn up, then we see a hive of CGBs that looked horrible. Guys, do you know how boring a movie has to be for me to comment on a fucking CG beehive looking like shit? This movie's giving me nothing else to work with. The story's going nowhere fast. The only thing I could even possibly comment on, besides the fact that every character is dull and boring as shit, is that the CG hive of bees was probably some of the worst I've seen in a movie in a long time. God damn it. When the fuck does this thing end? Can I just stop watching now? No, of fucking course I can. I'm fucking locked in. I'm going to finish this. It's going to suck, but I'm gonna fucking finish this thing. Alright, I have a question. So, earlier in the film, when the Hood was able to arrive on Tracy Island and was able to commandeer the command post, he was able to essentially take over and for the most part shut down Thunderbird 5. That tells me that from the fucking command post, you're able to control and override the various ships which the Tracy family uses. Why, then, did Brains just let the Hood and Thunderbird 2 fly all the way to London and not do shit? This movie has already established that you're able to control International Rescue's vehicles from that fucking command center. So why is any of this even happening? Holy shit, that just, wow. There guys is bad writing, and then there's shit like this. Shit like this is unforgivably garbage. Oh my god. Well, at least good news is this piece of trash is almost over. Thank fuck for that. But really, it can't end soon enough for me. Well, guys, that was Thunderbirds. Jesus fucking Christ. That apparently was Thunderbirds. God, just stop. Please. Just fucking. Okay. I have to make a point clear before I start talking about this movie, because apparently the person who worked on this movie, the person who wrote the script, does not know this. So now I feel that it has to be explained. The Thunderbirds are not the name of the team piloting the ships. The Thunderbirds are the names of the ships. Alright? Alan Tracy and his family are not the Thunderbirds. They are International Rescue. At least they went to the effort to put International Rescue on the ships. But the script still insists on calling the Tracy family the Thunderbirds, and that dug into my soul a little bit. And I want you to think about this, guys. I've only seen a few episodes of the fucking show, and I know this. I've only seen a few episodes, and it irritated the shit out of me. Okay? So, yeah. The Thunderbirds are the names of the ships, not the Tracy family. The Tracy family are called International Rescue. That's a very minor, nitpicky, nerdy thing to get worked up about, but it irritated me every single fucking time they did it. Okay, now that I got that off of my chest, let's talk about this goddamn movie. Jesus fucking Christ, where to start with this shitty movie? Okay. Writing. Might as well start with the writing, since I just said that the writer doesn't know the difference between International Rescue and Thunderbirds. But hey, that's totally minor. And since this is technically a fucking adaptation, perhaps in this fucking continuity, they call themselves Thunderbirds and paint International Rescue on the hull of every one of their ships just because it looks cool. I don't fucking know. Anyway, beyond that little minor nerdy nitpick, the writing in this thing is hideous. It is. Because, guys, again, I've only seen a handful of Thunderbirds episodes, but some things I remember incredibly well from those episodes was that the writing was sharp, the writing was witty at times, the writing was actually kind of funny. In a series that wasn't supposed to be a comedy, it did have some funny moments. And when it had to be serious, it was written incredibly well. Gerry Anderson was able to craft amazing stories using his cast of characters. This thing, on the other hand, turns the entire Tracy family into a bunch of cookie-cutter douchebags. You could literally swap out every single one of the Tracy brothers except for Alan, because we follow Alan for the whole fucking movie, and Jeff because, well, Jeff actually is given a little bit of personality, and of course Jeff is their dad, so naturally he's got a slightly different personality. But every other member of the Tracy family is completely inter-fucking-changeable. The only thing that changes from brother to brother is what fucking brand of faggy haircut each of them has. Otherwise, they're the same goddamn character. It basically looks as if Jeff fucking Tracy was cloning douchebags on his fucking island and just started calling them his sons. And Alan was the weird one who got just a shred of personality. Mind you, shred is still being generous. He doesn't have much outside of he's the youngest and he really, really wants to be a Thunderbird. Oh, ugh. He wants to be a Thunderbird so badly. Oh, God, Jesus. Fucking... And that's it for characters, guys. Okay? We actually have we do have lady fucking Penelope in here. She has a little bit of personality. Not fucking much, but she has more than anyone else in this goddamn movie fucking does. Our villain is the Hood, who is the most well-known Thunderbirds villain out there. They stripped all of his fucking personality away. Oh, geez, guys, the characters here are all lifeless. The story is... Okay, the story... I'm going to touch on the story a little bit, because when I saw a movie called Thunderbirds, I assumed we were going to be following International Rescue. We were going to be following Jeff and all of the other established members of International Rescue who go out and they do their shit. That lasts for less than 20 minutes. And then the Hood sneaks onto Tracy Island and essentially commandeers everything. He basically knocks out Thunderbird 5 and then traps all of International Rescue up there, leaving Alan and his two fucking idiot friends to try to stop everything. And that leads to a bit of a plot hole, because if the Hood was able to do that, if the Hood was able to shut down Thunderbird 5 and was able to commandeer Thunderbird 3 so that way they couldn't do anything up there, then that means that the fucking command center on Tracy Island is able to shut down anything and everything. So that means that once Alan and his buddies and Brains all like take over Tracy Island again, and Brains is left to run the fucking command center, wouldn't you think he would be able to then take fucking control of Thunderbird 2 and stop the Hood from wreaking havoc in London and thus sort of stopping the final act? Maybe, I don't know, fly him to fucking, I don't know, like Siberia and just, and just sort of leave him fucking locked in there until the rest of International Rescue shows up. Anything. But no, apparently, no, only Thunderbird 5 and Thunderbird 3 are under fucking control in the command center because fuck you, that's why. I guess that's the only reason that we have. The story is absolute shit, because instead of following a team of characters who are actually cool, we're following three fucking kids who are probably all about 14 or 15, and they all have the personality of a dead fucking cat. It's not interesting. Our characters sucked. Our story was terrible. The pacing, Jesus fuck, guys, I found myself looking up shit on Amazon out of pure boredom and just looking up every so often, and I didn't miss shit because the pacing in this thing is that goddamned bad, and so little happens across an hour and 40 minutes. It's pretty goddamn sad. Anyway, that is writing. The writing in this thing was awful. What about the acting? Oh boy. I think the only guy who actually put in any level of effort, the only actor in this entire film who put in even the slightest bit of effort, was Bill Paxton as Jeff Tracy. Bill Paxton actually tried. No one else did. No one else even fucking bothered. We have a cast made up of people, most of which I have never heard of, but oh well. None of them fucking tried. The one who should probably shock me, but really doesn't, is Ben Kingsley. Ben Kingsley was cast to play the Hood. And just thinking about it, if I could have thought of any actor who would have been born to play the Hood, Ben Kingsley would have been at the top of that fucking list. Unfortunately, this movie was made back in 2004 when Ben Kingsley forgot how to fucking act and forgot how to pick movies that were decent, wound up being in garbage like this, and of all things, Blood fucking Rain. He was in Blood Rain. And in both of them, his acting was shit. I'm going to tell you, his acting was better in Blood Rain than it was here. That's saying a lot. That speaks fucking volumes. But yeah, Ben Kingsley could have put in a decent effort, and he fucking didn't. Okay? That's shameful. No one else here even tried. The only one who came even close is Bill fucking Paxton. And if this was actually written properly and actually followed International Rescue, we would have gotten a lot more of Bill Paxton as Jeff Tracy. Unfortunately, because we're following a fucking 13-year-old version of Alan and his two fucking friends, we only get about 20 minutes with Paxton. So that honestly just makes a bad movie worse. The fact that we have the one actor who's actually trying and he gets relegated to the fucking background. Jesus Christ. Okay. So, just basically put a nice little bow on this, the acting sucked fat dick. Let's, okay, CG, special effects. I'm going to break this into a few things. I first want to talk about the actual Thunderbird ships. I want to talk about the way that the ships looked. That much I cannot complain about, because what they did was they took the way that all the ships looked in the original show from the 60s, and they gave them a slightly sleeker modern redo, and it looks really cool. And it's not just the Thunderbird ships, it's not just Thunderbirds 1 through 5, it's also Lady Penelope's car. Also got a nice modern spin. Looks great. Would have been even better if all this shit was rendered in CG that didn't fucking eat big bowls of shit, but oh well. Guys, the CG here. I understand this movie was made in 2004, and I had my mindset for CG that would have been reasonable by 2004 standards. And then I started watching this fucker, and we got CG that would have been laughable in 1994, much less 2004. So the CG makes this thing almost unwatchable. Cap it off with some of the worst blue screen I've seen in a major studio film in fucking ages. My God, no, guys, there is a scene where Alan and Jeff are talking, and the chroma key in the background is so glaringly obvious, it almost hurts. I never thought I'd get to talk about shitty chroma key in a fucking major studio film. This thing, guys, was made by Universal. Okay, it was made by Universal Pictures. Had a pretty sizable fucking budget, and they couldn't even get chroma key right. Because the lighting is all fucked up, and it looks really shit. So we have that, and we have awful CG. We have just terrible special effects from start to finish. And it really does take your horrible script and your shitty acting and makes the whole thing worse because the CG is crap. What about sound mix? Again, I'm going to break this down into a few things. The sound mix, for the most part, is fine in terms of vocals and dialogue. All of that comes off fine. And then there's the sound effects. What pin-headed chimp thought it was a good idea to put cartoon sound effects in select scenes of this movie? I probably wouldn't have minded if these goofy-ass, cartoonish-sounding sound effects were there for the entire movie. But they're not. They're only in about 4 goddamn scenes, and they really just drop all, and they really take what little quality is in that scene and drop them even further, because the sound effects don't fit. Okay? When somebody's winding up for a punch and they're doing the stupid arm fucking like wind up thing, and you hear a cartoon wind up sound, that really looks awful. In that same scene, Mullion, who is one of the Hood's minions, is kicked in the fucking groin, and it's greeted with a bell sound, which just seems so out of place compared to everything else in this goddamn movie. If they didn't have those shitty sound effects in those 4 or 5 scenes, I could probably have given sound mix a pass, because everything else is fine. Unfortunately, those fucking sound effects ruin what few scenes they are in, and considering the fact that those scenes were all fucking ready hobbled by terrible fucking writing and horrendous acting and CG that is laughably shit, it really, guys, is just problems on top of more problems on top of more motherfucking problems. This movie is a fucking parade of failure. It almost hurts to even think. The music, alright. The score is alright. The score is passable. The soundtrack is shit, though. You guys heard that song that was playing over the closing credits. Some shitbag fagaloon pop song that is set to the original Thunderbirds theme. When I started to hear that, my soul died just slightly. Fuck the soundtrack to this godforsaken movie. That was shit. Ultimately, guys, when all is said and done, am I able to recommend Thunderbirds? What the fuck do you think? No. Fuck no. Again, I am not even a big fan of Thunderbirds, and I'm going to tell you, this thing is complete shit. I have not been this let down by a movie in a long motherfucking time. Guys, I honestly was at least expecting something decent. The only positive I can really grant is, well, the way the ships are designed looks cool. I can't even fucking say that the ships that themselves look cool, because the CG which was used to render them is absolute garbage. Fuck this movie, and fuck the people who worked on it. And the one I really want to point out is the man who directed this. The man who directed this was Jonathan Frakes, the man who played William Riker on Star Trek The Next Generation. Mr. Frakes, I want to know, because before you took on this fucking job directing this movie, I'm going to assume that you got to look at the script, and you got to actually see if it was a script that was worth filming and that you would want to put your goddamn name on it. So, Mr. Frakes, my question to you is this. What the fuck possessed you to actually sit down, read this absolute abortion of a fucking script and go, yep, I can totally make this into a fucking movie? There is no reason that this goddamn thing should have ever been made. And if Universal was absolutely hell-bent on this script being the one used, Jonathan, you could have just walked the fuck away, and you could have directed almost anything else. But no, you opted to fucking direct this, and it absolutely torpedoed your fucking career as a film director. Justifiably so, because you were stupid enough to make this. So fuck you for your poor career choices there, Will. Fuck you, Riker. Eat my ass. Anyway, I really should try to wrap up this, because otherwise I'm just going to keep on talking about how awful this fucking movie is. Thunderbirds came off of the Amazon wish list. I guess I should mention that. The person who sent it in was Robert. Robert sent in a lot of movies for this series, and I thank him immensely every time. Please, guys, swing on over to Robert's Amazon profile. Check out everything that he has written over there. He really has some. He has some really, really cool fucking reviews written over there. Certainly a lot better than the shitbag movie I just watched. You'll probably have a lot more fun reading everything that he has over there. It would certainly be a lot more entertaining than actually sitting down and watching this motherfucking thing. But Robert, I thank you. Once more, guys, please swing over to Robert's Amazon profile. Check out everything that he has. Jesus fucking God. I'm sorry, guys. Just... I'm still trying to process the fucking movie I just watched, and it's starting to give me a headache, like right here, like right in like the center of my fucking forehead. I can just feel a throbbing pain. So I'm gonna go pop some aspirin, and I'm gonna go find something good. I don't know what. Yeah, I know. Because around the same time, there was another movie that was inspired by Thunderbirds that came out. It's a movie I've seen. It's a movie I actually enjoy. And that was Team America World Police, which used the same kind of puppeteering methods which Gerry Anderson used in the original Thunderbirds. And it's actually more like the original Thunderbirds than this fucking thing was. So I'm gonna go watch that, because that movie's fucking amazing. And I'm going to go find a dumpster fire, and I'm going to go throw this son of a bitch in there, because that's really where it fucking belongs. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.